Oh yeah, son. Look what came in. Oh yeah. Makes scrubbing out of the event so much more worth it. Also, this has nothing to do with the deck I played today, but I just wanted to show it off. Roll the intro. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Meh, of Pig and Meh here. So, I went to Locals today, which was the first in-person event my regular locals could have since, the COVID-19 restrictions. And I managed to get top 4 with the deck before you, going second Crusadias. The reason I picked this deck in particular is because I just wanted to one-punch everybody and not think too hard about my games. So, let's go with the BS and show you guys the deck profile and then put explanations at the end. Alright, going to the deck profile. Start out, 3 copies of Crusadia Arborea. She can protect Equimax from destruction. 3 copies of Crusadia Leonis. He lets Equimax pierce. 3 copies of Crusadia Reclasia. He pops stuff while being pointed to Equimax. 3 copies of Crusadia Draco. He adds stuff to your hand, usually the thing you normal summon to start everything. 3 copies of Crusadia Maximus. He's the second best behind Arborea because he makes it where Equimax just one-punches everybody for big number. That's the Crusadias. You max out on all of them because you want to see them. Now onto your gas. The Lone World Legacy World Crown actually has a nice secondary effect where it can negate an extra deck monster. Your I do not care what my opponent plays buttons. I just picked 2 kaijus with the biggest number, the wind one because there's a possibility of bird up, and the second biggest smallest, if that makes any sense. Also, this is a spider and this is Mothra, and spiders and Mothra are pretty cool. And then 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. This was probably the best decision I decided to make last minute because this card's real good. But when you draw multiples, it sucks. And then I got this from Team COG. I decided to test it out. 2 copies of Ranryu and Gigabyte. I don't know, they're okay, but I kind of just cited them out most of the time, so they probably won't make any future revisions. And that was the monster count. Now onto the spells. 1 lets you punch everything and give you 500. 1 protect the Equimax. The 2 World Legacy cards to search off your spider. To be honest, I could probably just stand to play 2 of this, but this card is okay. I also don't own 2 of the other card, so yeah. 2 copies of just wipe the opponent's board and make it where you OTK them. 1 Lightning Storm, because I only own 1. Again, I learned this from Team COG, and I never used it. Did, however, use this card. It's really good. 1 Reinforcement in the army to search Arborea. 1 Monster Reborn, because, yeah. 1 Saki Called by the Grave. And then for the Lone Trap card, just the single Crawler. When you don't OTK, this card's real good because people forget Equimax has 2 effects. Now onto the extra deck. To start out, the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Crusadia Equimax. This card absolutely rules because it gets real big when it is pointing to things, and if you don't kill them, for whatever reason, he can tribute a Crusadia effect monster he points to then proceed to negate their stuff. This card is fantastic, I love it, and it's the reason I play the deck. And in order to get to him, I play 3 copies of Magius. You could easily get away with 2, but I just decided to play 3 because in case there was a longer game state and I needed to. And also he's your reinforcement in the army when something is special to his marker. If you know, you know. Also, if they strike Leonis, or not Leonis, Regulator, and you have a parallel exceed on your board, you can make this and keep playing. If they Nibibu you, 2 Regulators! This card's fantastic. It searches a lot of cards, including the Crown. Spatha. I'm not too big a fan of her, but in some testing videos I made, I kind of remember using her a time or two. And if they droll you, you make her, and then you make Equimax. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. He's just generic. One of this guy. I made him against Blue Eyes, and the guy cried because he forgot that this was a Crusadia card and can be protected by the Quick Play spell. This guy for extra OTKs. This because you could only break the board apart so many different ways. Why not just have another? And then just the lone rank 4 of the number 60. Probably the most important card because he makes Equimax absolutely massive. And I make this guy all the time. He is fantastic. And you definitely need to play this card if you play this variation of this deck. But to be honest, I kind of wanted to play more rank 4s at points, but I don't know. It was kind of neither here nor there. For the side deck, I thought these were the 2 most impactful hand traps I could play for most scenarios. So that's what I played, and I think I was correct. More back row hate. Yeah, that's it. Just in case you're playing against back row deck. Although these decrees are funny if they make you go first and you set one. Then they just cry. And then the only floodgate, there can be only one, because you can easily play around this card. So yeah, there you go. That is my going second Crusadia OTK deck profile. I think this deck is absolutely awesome. And if you're going to be playing Crusadias, this is the version that I personally prefer to play. Because for the most part, it's not too difficult. And if you're playing in a meta where like a bunch of people are putting big things that you just don't know how to deal with, it literally has an out to pretty much everything, which is real fun. And also, for the most part, with one exception, most of my matches today didn't last very long. And that's really nice. Because, yeah, I really just didn't want to have to deal with time being such a pain. I'd rather just have a deck that just vomited everything out, did what it needed to do, and got my round done in about 20 minutes. And that's what this deck does. And it's great. So, yeah. Just as a little aside, next week I should be putting out a video where I talk a little bit more in depth about this strategy, because I think it's a real cool one, and I had a lot of fun in my very, very extensive online playtesting of it. So yeah, look forward to that. This is Meh of Pig and Meh, signing out.